tardes, mi nombre es Muteado Silencio, yo soy de Oakland. Good afternoon everybody, thank you for coming now, I'm from Oakland. I just want to decir un poquito en español, ¿verdad? Porque podemos ver que la policía no está para servir al pueblo ni la comunidad. That we can see these people, these pigs are not here to protect our communities. No. You can see what's going on in Oakland, in San Francisco, in Los Angeles, where a guatemalteco brother got killed, ¿verdad? Y yo aquí como inmigrante, como raza, quiero decir que ya basta de la opresión de la policía, de los puercos. Y quisiera decir que estoy aquí también apoyando a todas las madres que han perdido a sus hijos. And I just want to say I'm here in support of all the families that have lost loved ones in the hands of these pigs. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have to tell anybody out here all the bullshit we got to go through with police. I don't understand how they don't do their job. They won't do their job. They won't protect and serve, but they protect and serve their own.
The rich.
Their own. You know, the police are the biggest gang in the United States.
Yep.
They're a gang. They're legal with guns. They're a gang. They stick by each other. They only work with each other. They're literal gang.
The war on the poor is in full effect, but now the soldiers are pro-life, social workers, and politicians creating deadly legislations and contracts.
Biggest problem is not having the accountability for your actions, no matter who you are. Just because you're the police does not give you the right to ride on a person's human rights. That's right.
The Audre Lorde Project in New York City has created a community accountability project with no police calls ever. It can happen.
Hello, my name's Bruce Allison. I've been beat up, arrested 52 times for doing something, sitting and lying on the ground on a protest. My head was bashed in once when I was younger, still fighting, and now I'm worried about something worse. 647E. This will make sleeping on the sidewalk if you had no bed a 3-month prison term.
Bullshit! A real dear friend of mine that is an advocate in the Bayview was arrested in December, beaten, humiliated, and you know what? She's a single parent with a baby at home waiting for her to come home and feed it.
Hi, my name is Salah Hakuya, and excuse me, I'm not really in the... My name is Salah Hakuya, and I've been a community activist for 25 years in San Francisco. I ran for the board of supervisors of Bayview Hunters Point. I have fought for justice and equality for many people that have no one to speak for them. I have received certificates of honors from the board of supervisors and also from former President Clinton. And a single mother. I'm saying that to say of two is that I am not a criminal. And what happened on November the 24th was in Bayview, someone broke into my car, burglarized my car, busted my window, stole my radio and went into the trunk. I called the Bayview Police Department and asked them to come and send someone out to do a report. They told me that in that particular neighborhood, basically, that they could not send an officer out because it was not a high priority. 3 weeks later, I was going up on Silver and Palouse, and the police pulled me over, going to my doctor's appointment. They asked me to get out the car, put my keys on the ground, put my hands on my head, asked me if I had any guns in the car, and proceeded to put the, cuffs on me. They asked me if I had any guns. I said, excuse me, but what is going on? They said that my license plates had been reported stolen. I said to Officer Lee, why don't you check the system and see that I called in 3 weeks ago and reported my car burglarized? I said, and you did not send an officer out. I said, I'm a community activist for 25 years. I said, call Sergeant Garrett. She's a friend though I was hurt. I told him I had a son at home that couldn't feed himself. He was a minor. I needed to get home. They impounded my car. They put me in the processing unit and said that I was being charged with a felony and that I had to sign a paper to have my DNA sent into a database with murders and rapists, and told me if I didn't sign the papers, they was going to add another charge to me. Do you know that they took me upstairs in the processing unit and there was 3 officers, and this is not about a racial thing. It was 2 African-American deputy sheriffs. One name is Deputy Reed, and the other 2, I don't know their names. And they asked me they said to please sit down. I said, I didn't respond. I was looking at the papers because I was so humiliated about the DNA. I didn't hear the first time. They said I said sit down. I sat down the second time. They said I said shut up. I stopped talking to the inmate. Next thing you know, 3 officers came, put handcuffs on me, and threw me on a glass wall, and put the handcuffs on me, and then pulled my braid out from the root, from the scalp, and the braid was on the ground. An inmate felt so bad, she went and picked it up. She didn't want nobody to know. They put me in a holding tank for an hour and came back in and said, in this place, you sit down when we say sit down, you shut up when we say shut up, you move when we say move. And I didn't pay any, I looked at the wall because I didn't want to get aggressive. But when they was being aggressive with me, I said, him denied be called Baraka. I started praying in another language. I said, you will be held accountable for what you have done to me. I didn't resist, I didn't fight. An hour later, she came out, took me up. 2 hours later, took me up the stairs and kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. I said, officer, I don't know which way to go. They kept pushing me and pushing me. And the next thing you know, I thought I was going in a holding tank where I was going to sleep. And the next thing you know, my face was smashed up on the wall. My lip was busted. My teeth was chipped. They took my hand and gave me hand damage and almost broke my hand. Because right now I got nerve damage right now on my right hand. Almost bit it. Then they put their knee in my back and called 3 other officers and made me walk backwards like a dog for 10 minutes. And then they put me on the floor and made me sleep on the floor with a half a blanket and no toilet paper. And then found out they dropped the charges. Had nothing against me. I never even saw any, I never saw a judge. I never saw a court. They dropped the charges. Yes, they did. And found out that it was somebody else driving my car. And we got the pictures to prove it.
You didn't get an apology? No.
No, they wrote in the letter that I had violated the rules because I was speaking another language. And they said I put voodoo on them, and that's why I was beaten up in there. I asked Officer Lee in the Bayview, I said, why didn't you put in the report that I reported my car burglarized? Why did you profile me as a criminal? I said, why didn't you call Sergeant Garrett, put in a report that she was a friend of mine? Why didn't you take a stand of me fighting for this community and justice? I'm not a criminal. I shouldn't have been beaten in there by Deputy Lee. I mean, by Deputy, not Deputy Lee, but by Deputy Reed. Thank you.
Stand together, resist, resist. No justice, no peace.